Hi there. This week we're going to take a look at the 1983 Texas Rangers baseball season. That was the first year I went and saw the Rangers play. I saw them play twice. I saw them play the Baltimore Orioles, then I saw them play the Cleveland Indians. But first, it's going to be the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 56 in 2 weeks at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. I said hosting because SoFi Stadium is the home of the Los Angeles Rams. This is the second year in a row that the one of the teams is playing the Super Bowl in their home stadium after the defending Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. The Bengals beat the defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs in overtime on a field goal by a score of 27-24. And then later on, the Rams beat their in-state rivals, the San Francisco 49ers, by a score of 20-17. Saturday, I watched the Royal Rumble on Peacock. That is the WWE Royal Rumble, and that is the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, their big pay-per-view, which this year is being held in Dallas. And in between the Rumble and the WrestleMania is the Elimination Chamber, and they announced a big match for that event. In fact, the Elimination Chamber match, with the winner of that one getting it, which is actually, I think, for the WWE Championship. It'll have AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Austin Theory, and the new WWE Champion, and Riddle, and the new WWE Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. Anyway, now on to the subject of this week's program. Oh, also, getting a little ahead of myself here. Getting back to the Rumble, Ronda Rousey returned Saturday in the Women's Rumble and eliminated Charlotte Flair to earn a title shot against the champion of her choice at WrestleMania. She was on Raw just now, and after a one-on-one with Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, she said she would make her decision on Friday on SmackDown. And then Lita came out and challenged Becky for a match at Elimination Chamber, and Becky accepted. Brock Lesnar, who had won the men's championship, the men's Rumble, that was after he lost the WWE Championship to Bobby Lashley, following interference from Universal Champion Roman Reigns, who beat Seth Rollins early in the night to retain the Universal Championship. Rollins came out at the old Shield music, by the way, and Reigns, after the match, beat Rollins with a chair. Alright. Turn the page here. Let's see. Alright. The 1983 Texas Rangers season was the first time I went and saw the Rangers play. Like I said, the first game was on a Sunday afternoon, May 15th, against the Baltimore Orioles. It rained that when we left Rosebud, but it cleared off by the time we got to Dallas-Fort Worth, and they got the game on in time. And they even had time for a pregame activities, as that was a Farm and Ranch Day at Arlington Stadium that day. And events included hog calling, I think they milked the cows, and also through cow patties. They won the game by a score of 2-1 against the Royals team that included Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken Jr., Rick Dempsey, and Hall of Fame pitcher Jim Palmer. In the summer, the team broke the MLB record for most runs scored in an extra inning when they scored 12 runs in the top of the 15th inning against the Oakland A's in Oakland. The 1928 New York Yankees had the previous record. The next time I saw them play was against the Cleveland Indians in August, and they won that game by a score of 6-2. It was in that game, by the way. And the famous San Diego Chicken made an appearance, and also the games were broadcast in Dallas on 50,000 watt WBAP 820, which I could hear where I lived, and we listened to that all the time, listening to the morning show with the time with Hal J and Dick Siegel, and they also did the afternoon show, and they did a live remote from Arlington Stadium before that game, and we got Hal J, me and my sister, we got Hal J's autograph. The games, like I said, were on radio on WBAP in Dallas, Fort Worth, with announcers Mark Holtz on play-by-play and Eric Nadell on color. Eric's now the play-by-play man, and Mark passed away back in 1997. Eric is the recipient of the Ford C. Frick Award, which inducted him into the Baseball Hall of Fame. The games were televised in Dallas on KXAS TV Channel 5, which, by the way, used to be WBAP TV. And I saw them on the local channel from Temple, KCE and TV Channel 6, which was the NBC affiliate. And the announcers on there were Merle Harmon and Steve Busby. The manager was Doug Rader, and the general manager was Joe Klein, and they were hired after the 1982 season by owner Eddie Childs. The 1983 season was one of the seasons where the Rangers had one of their infamous mid-season collapses after getting off to a good start and appearing to be on the way to a division title. They finished the season with a record of 77 wins. And let's see here. Oh yeah, 77 wins and 85 losses. It was a Ranger team that included players like Buddy Bell, Jim Sundberg, Larry Parrish, Billy Sample, pitchers Rick Honeycutt, Dave Stewart, they were traded for each other, by the way, and Charlie Huff. Buddy Bell won the Gold Glove at third base. Team leaders Larry Parrish led the team in home runs with 26. He also led the team in RBIs with 88. Billy Sample led the team in runs with 80. And Bill Stein was the batting leader with an average of 310. George Wright led the team in hits with 175. And on the pitching staff, Charlie Huff led the team in wins with 15. He also led in strikeouts with 152. And the top closer was Odell Jones. He had 10 saves. The minor league system included AAA Oklahoma City, AA Tulsa, Single A Burlington, Single A short season Tri-Cities, and Gulf Coast League Rangers in the Rookie League. Now for the rest of Major League Baseball, Nolan Ryan of the Astros struck out Brad Mills of the Expos for the 3,509th strikeout of his career, and that broke the all-time career record that was held previously by Walter Johnson. I also went and saw the Astros play, and Nolan Ryan started that game, and they won it by beating the San Francisco Giants. The famous Pine Tar game was played on July 24th between the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. In the top of the ninth, George Brett of the Royals hit what looked to be a game-winning, a go-ahead home run. And that brought Yankee manager Billy Martin out to argue that Brett had too much pine tar on his bat. So the umpire, led by crew chief Tim McClellan, used home plate to measure the bat, and they found out that it did exceed the limits. and he called Brett out, and that was the end of the game. At that moment, Brett came running out of the dugout like a bull. He had to be restrained by several people. The Royals appealed it to the American League president, Chubb Feeney, and they upheld the Royals' protest restoring the home run, and the game picked up on August 18th, and the Royals won the game by a score of 5-4. The All-Star Game was played on July 6th at the old Comiskey Park in Chicago, which also was host to the first All-Star Game 50 years earlier, back in 1933. The American League won by a score of 13-3, ending a 11-game winning streak by the National League that went back to 1972. Fred Lynn of the Angels was named the MVP. The Orioles, who also the Rangers play that year, went on and won the World Series by beating the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1. Before that, they beat the Chicago White Sox, who won the American League West 3-1 in what was then a 5-game League Championship Series. The Phillies beat the Los Angeles Dodgers, who won the National League West also by a margin of 3-1. The games were televised nationally on NBC, the NBC Saturday Game of the Week. The announced teams were the A team was Vince Scully and Joe Garagiola, while the B team was Bob Costas and Tony Kubek. So the other teams also working games. Over on ABC on Monday Night Baseball and Sunday afternoon games, Al Michaels was the lead announcer, and Don Drysdale was the announcer, the B team announcer. I think Michaels worked with Howard Cosell and Earl Weaver, I think. And the cable games were on USA Network. The Hall of Fame ceremony was held that summer. Inductees included former Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodgers manager Walter Alston, former Detroit Tigers player George Kell, former San Francisco Giants pitcher Juan Marichal, and former Baltimore Orioles third baseman Brooks Robinson. The most valuable players were Cal Ripken Jr. of the Baltimore Orioles for the American League, and Dale Murphy of the Atlanta Braves for the National League. The Cy Young Award winners were Lamar Hoyt of the Chicago White Sox for the American League, and John Denny of the Philadelphia Phillies for the National League. Rookie of the Year, Ron Kittle of the Chicago White Sox for the American League, and Darryl Strawberry of the New York Mets for the National League. And the Manager of the Year in the American League was Tony La Russa of the Chicago White Sox. He's their manager again now. The Manager of the Year for the National League was Tommy Lasorda of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here's a fun fact for you. Bulletproof vests, fire escapes, windshield wipers, and laser printers were all invented by women. I didn't know that.